Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our main topic today. The Ministry of Education have announced the completing of developing the primary stage curriculum after social and scientific dialogue to achieve a good education for the coming generations. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Dr. Nabil Gad, education expert. Good morning, Your Excellency.
Good morning, Ms. Ahmed.
So, Dr. Gad, what are the principles of the curriculum development and its necessity?
This is actually a very good start for developing the primary education in particular. These are the buds for our future generation that we will depend on. I'm so pleased to hear that there are so many specialized committees formed by His Excellency, the Minister of Education, for developing the primary stage curricula. And actually, this is something indispensable. And if we have a well-knotted plan for this rising generation, of course, this will have very fruitful results in the future. I try to find nowadays that there are so many courses taught like skills, hobbies, and we have to encourage our youngsters to proceed and adapt such a policy and to have a clear vision to perceive and achieve what we aim at in the very near future.
Yes.
Let me tell you that countries like Finland, the teachers in the primary stage are very well and highly qualified teachers, more than any other stage. And if the teacher could attract the kids for these new curriculum courses, I think this will have very fruitful results, as I have just mentioned. And we have to encourage and motivate not only the teachers themselves in the field of the primary stage, but also the parental guidance, the awareness that we should always spread through the media, through any means of convincing these parents to help and give up a gigantic push to the near future for them.
Yes, Dr. Gad, what in your opinion is the importance of the primary stage education development?
This development actually should be having to emerge not only the teachers and the people in charge in the Ministry of Education for the primary stage, but also some social dialogues, and that would be appropriate, because when we consult others, especially the experts in education, how to develop the education in the primary stage, that will also lead to what we are longing to have for long-cherished dreams, that our education, and we all know, the basic education, which is the primary or the elementary stage, as some people call it, it is like a springboard for the future. If we have sincerity, and I think we have to develop our primary education, that will lead to other very good steps in the coming stages, like the intermediate or the preparatory and the secondary, and then the high education in the university and even the postgraduate stage. So we have to launch new phase for activities nationwide. We shouldn't only focus on big governorates and big capitals, but everywhere, not only the urban areas, schools, and also the rural areas. And this, I think, in my point of view, is a sort of democracy that we always say the dialogue means that two heads are better than one. We hope everything will be okay.
Yes, Dr. Gad, could you give us an overview of on the integrating technology into the educational process?
It's a good point that you mentioned, integrating technology. And this is the promising future as well, of course, to have technology. And I think in primary stage now, all our children have computer courses, and they find very good interest in them. But we have to provide them with all their needs. I mean, there should be a very working net to get in touch with the whole world. They can search it in Google or whatever, and with little instructions or few instructions by the trainers or the teachers, I think these children will be on the go. They will lead a very prosperous scientific life in the future. Let us think always out of the box, and we have to forget or avoid or put aside the old-fashioned methods of education. Everything is developing. Even the creature, man himself or herself, develops from one year to the other, not only from one day to the other. You see the technological achievement that happens always is advancing. We are not static, but we should teach our children to be dynamic in their thinking, to consult each other, to work in teams, in pairs, not individually, because maybe the cooperation will lead to a very good result.
Yes, could you give us an idea, Dr. Gad, about the state's role in developing educational infrastructure in order to keep the pace with progress in Egypt and all the governorates, of course?
Right. Since we are loyal to our beloved country, Egypt, we must not set bars or walls against the creativity of some of our children or learners in general, I mean. So if we have this well-knotted plan, we will build the Egyptian character, because we are actually in bad need today to rebuild strong Egyptian character out of our youngsters on scientific and educational bases. The strategic plan of Egypt's university should achieve what the political leadership always directs, to launch a new phase for learners' activities nationwide. I always insist on this word, not to be on local areas, but nationwide. We have to have the same strategy and the same policy, the same planning, and we have to have sincere achievers and executors for the plan that is done. And this, of course, requires training for trainers. So the TOT, I always mention it, training of trainers. It's a must nowadays, because a loser cannot be a giver. So if we have those who can give abundantly, generously, actively, we will reach our gains all the time.
Yes. So, Doctor, can you talk to us about the progress of the secondary education before getting into the university studies?
The secondary education, of course, is the step preceding the university education. And I'm so pleased that nowadays I heard about more than 50 applied technological schools inaugurated recently. And the aim is that by 2030, there will be about 460 applied technological schools nationwide. And this is also a very good step. It means that we are implementing the idea of technology in such students And not all the people rush to the general secondary schools to get the top university colleges, as we used to call them. But the technology is a bright future for our learners everywhere in Egypt.
Yes, Dr. Gad, can we reach in Egypt to a criteria that enables us to be like other foreign countries, that the secondary school is the last stage of the education, and that the university stage is not very important, and that the student can work with the secondary school, like, for example, in Germany, in other European countries, that the university is not obligatory, I mean.
Yes, you are absolutely right. As a matter of fact, we should have a link for these applied technological schools and whatever the technical schools are, not to look down upon them as it used to be the old-fashioned perception, but to see that this is the future for not only Egypt, for the whole world. And we have to look forward to having a very better future for youngsters and for the graduates of these schools to meet the labor market needs. And if those graduates have or can guarantee that they will be so easily picked up to be working in distinguished places like computer companies, to be programmers, to be technicians and computer operators. This is actually badly need these days to have such graduates, because the labor market here is wide open for them, not only in Egypt, but all over the world. Some of the graduates from these technical schools, I heard that they are picked up not only in Egypt, but also in the Gulf area and even in European countries, provided, of course, they have a very good command of the English language as well, plus their background, which they have trained on while being students at these technological schools.
Yes, Dr. Gad, what are the steps needed for the government and also for the citizens in order to start thinking that the university stage is not that essential?
Yes, the university stages are not the end of the road, but the government role, I think, is to fund such projects, and it's also a very good requirement or necessity that we have to encourage and spread awareness through media, as you represented. So this media, if we spread the ideas and the awareness of the importance of such schools, pre-university, that the future is open for the graduates more than the university grads that are jobless when they graduate and they look for jobs. Hardly they could find something. But if they are having a skill, and this is essential, this skill will lead them actually to have a better and good life for them, and to please not only themselves but their families and the society at large.
Yes, Dr. Gad, can you tell us about how the education curriculum can be linked to the labor market?
Yes, this is actually the part of the role of the specialized committees who set the criteria and the syllabi for these learners. Of course, they have meetings, long meetings in these committees to develop, maybe to omit, to add. It's their job to consult each other. And of course, such committees are formed by having very specialized, well-educated and highly qualified members of staff from universities or even from the field of teaching itself in the Ministry of Education. They have a great job, and we have to have always to have green change, to have interactive issues in these committees to help the learners in our country, not only in the primary, but also in the secondary stage, and afterwards, of course, the university or the high education.
Yes, Dr. Gad, could you elaborate for us on the necessity of the community dialogue to achieve the sound educational results?
Yes, the sound educational results come by abiding to the plan already set, and having a sort of follow-up to what has been achieved, to study the points of strength and the points of weakness, usually, and the points of threats. That's what we usually call SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, aims, and threats. So if this is in front of us all the time, we should always be in the frame and to be patient and honest. I think honesty is already there. So always we have to consult. If we don't know how to conduct something or to perform our job, we have to consult. And there are always supervisors for each course at the Ministry of Education, and senior inspectors, or they call them nowadays supervisors maybe. So let them have workshops for the teachers in charge. Let the students be always encouraged, not necessarily financially, but psychologically encouraged, and this will push them forward and to gain these results in the very near future for Egypt as well.
Yes, Dr. Gad, the importance of training and making the teacher qualified to deal with this new system.
Yes, I mentioned earlier that...
Yes, at the start of your, but we'd like to shed more light on this.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, we have to train those who will be in charge of dealing with the learners and give them the latest and the most up-to-date ideas. Let us have a sort of twinning with educational systems abroad in other countries, and we benefit from them. Of course, we have to localize what is globalized. So when we localize according to the needs of our society, our culture, our values, the Eastern values, I think this will be a very good push forward, and let us keep our fingers crossed for such committees and such trainers and the people in charge of teaching.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Dr. Nabil Gad, education expert. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break and I'm going to be back with you.